talent that's here in my city. So yeah.
Wow,
That was a line. I'm sorry.
networking goddess. That's what I'm saying. She's so good at this. This is clearly your gift. But no, I appreciate that. If I need to make this into two segments, I will, because this is gold. It's so hard to put into words what you just said so beautifully. So no worries at all. So let's talk about the next segment. Is like, obviously you are, or should I say, like the next chapter in planning an event, you kind of want to make sure that it's profitable. You can't always guarantee that, but like, can you tell me some things that you do to make sure that you're profitable from your show? Like, how do you decide what to charge, and what thought goes into how much you invest beforehand?
Right. So it's knowing your budget. So starting out with a budget, and reaching out and getting as many quotes as possible, and be willing and ready to negotiate. So not all of my events have been profitable, but they not profitable financially, but they were profitable in other ways.
Right. And
And
building your
that may
network
be
in
like
other
a
ways.
second, they might be like a second segment, but what I've learned in planning these events and making sure that I'm profitable is creating my budget and not trying to go so big so soon, and make sure I scale down when I need to. And knowing how much to charge really depends on like your venue, all of your costs, your expenses and stuff, and making sure you actually operate out of an actual budget template. I use my Excel comes from my budget template comes from Smartsheet. And it's like I download it. It's really easy. It's already have all the formulas plugged in, so I don't have to do much.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at everything that you're wanting to do, and you see, okay, this is going to cost this much, this is going to cost this much, making sure you stay within your budget. When you do that, you get to see everything from A to Z, scale down, say, how can we do this on a budget? Where can we cut back? And then that's how typically you end up knowing how much to charge. So my events usually range from $25 to $75. Again, depending on the actual event, where I'm doing, where I'm having it, what's going on, all of that stuff, because you're still going to need money for decor and for, if you're going to serve food, all of your chairs, tables, if the venue that you're using doesn't come with as many chairs and tables that you need, your DJ, your lighting, your actual production, like that's a huge chunk on top of advertising and marketing, social media, all of that. So, that's just my expertise. I'm still in the process, so I'm still learning. You're never gonna stop learning.
Sure. Oh,
but,
yeah. And you always kind of adjust as you go
you
to the next
always
event.
adjust.
Yeah.
So if I could leave any kind of golden nugget, it's making sure you have a budget and be willing to negotiate and be willing to say no to yourself. Like, no, I can't do this right now. Maybe at the next event.
Yeah.
It's always going to be there. So it's like, don't try to go too big too soon. Take your time, be patient with the process, and make sure you charge according to like your demographics. You get like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here in Birmingham charge $200 for a
Mm-hmm.
fashion show, because the people
Right.
here in this city, they may not be able to afford $200 for a fashion show. So I
Right.
have to be mindful of my ticket prices, and just be mindful of what I can and cannot do, whether I have sponsorships or not.
Okay. That's
So
perfect. Thank
that
you.
was good.
No, that was very good. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So let's switch it up a little bit. Can you name or think of like maybe the craziest thing that you've ever encountered at a show, whether it's like a designer just straight up didn't show up, or like a whole gaggle of models caught the flu? Like, can you name
Ooh.
something crazy that's ever happened when you're trying to plan a show?
Um, the thing that I experienced, that I don't experience it a lot because I really nip things in the bud when it happens, so it won't happen
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
The craziest thing that has happened, one of them is, I had a model who at this time was really used to being chosen for like a lot of shows, and they
Uh-huh.
were so used to being, seen, that
Yes.
I think I had 7 designers. He was only chosen by one designer, and he was really his feelings about it. And during the show, This designer in particular only had women.
Uh-huh.
And I forgot the theme, but the designer that chose him, they had African attire. So he took it upon himself to hop on stage and walk during her scene.
Did he now?
And she's like, what's going on? I said, where did he come from? Because he wasn't in the lineup, because I was right there telling the models when to go. So I'm like, if you're not even here, how did you get on stage? He basically snuck on the runway and walked. And you know what I did?
You can't make this stuff up.
Your bags, skedaddle yourself on out of here.
Yes, you just went from one look to zero.
So he didn't even get a chance to walk in the actual scene.
Wow.
And he was chosen for.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was like, no, skedaddle your way. Go.
Okay, now let's talk about how you go about choosing designers for your shows. So how do you go about choosing designers, and what is a good number of pieces that they should be ready to showcase?
Okay, so when choosing designers, I make sure that for my shows, I don't go past one hand. So that means 5 designers.
Okay.
And how I go about choosing them, if I have a theme, I choose designers based on what they've produced in the past, and then based on if they can even produce what I need for them to produce what I need for the show, according to the theme. If I don't have a theme, I still stick to my 5. If I want to expand, if I want to include more, I don't go past 7. So I choose them based on what they can do. I don't choose them based off of how long they've been doing it. I don't choose them based on how many sales they have if they're in stores, because a lot of my shows are based on giving local and emerging talent an opportunity, giving them to present their collection. And a lot of them, they're not going to be in stores, and they're not going to have pieces, and they're not going to have $10,000 to pay a designer package. Because here in Birmingham, our resources are very few. So I have to make sure, and my team has to make sure, whoever you're sending to me, send them all to me so I could, properly vet them. But it's just really about if they want it, if they really, really want to do it, if they're really passionate about doing it, if this is something that they want to actually do more than just a hobby. And I have conversations with them. I talk to them. So tell me where you're going to be, where you want your business to be in 5 years. Tell me, like, what is your stumbling blocks right now? Seeing where they may need help in.
How many pieces should they have ready to show?
Starting out,
how many looks, I should say.
How many looks? Starting out, they should have a minimum of 8 pieces. A minimum of 8. If they want to challenge themselves more, between 12 and 15. For larger shows, at least 25. Even larger shows between like 30 to like 50. But usually 30 to 50 comes in like shows where it's like New York Fashion Week and stuff.
Yeah.
And like Miami.
Yeah, when you are the show.
The show, that's when you hit like 25, 50 pieces. But a lot of the shows that I've done and participated in, they want a minimum of 8.
Okay. Because these are really more designer showcases. These aren't like, fashion shows that are showing a launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say
launching a collection, I should say.
Between 8 and 12.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to challenge yourself, just add 3 more and you have 15.
Yeah.
But really between 8 and 12.
Now, this question is off script a little bit, but it just kind of popped in my head from back when I used to do shows. I remember always feeling like this pressure to have 8 cohesive looks or 12 cohesive looks. But at the time that the opportunity was presented to me, maybe I had 3 little mini collections of, 3 to 4 pieces, but they didn't all go together. Right. What are your thoughts on that? Either like just getting yourself on stage and presenting what you have, even though it's not like, next season's collection, versus saying no to that opportunity and preparing for the next opportunity and having like a cohesive collection.
So I say to that, when I first got started, I didn't have a cohesive collection. I think coming up for my show that's coming up on April 16th, I have a cohesive collection. I would just hop out there and just try, like test the market, right? So if you continue to wait until you're able to get a cohesive collection that makes sense to you, you're never going to be doing anything as far as like they're putting yourself out there for people to see. So take what you have, using what you have, what's in your hand, and just saying, I'm jumping out here. If someone says, I like this, I like this, I like that, or I don't like that, use that feedback to build your next collection.
Right. Less guesswork.
Less guesswork. So if you have 8 pieces and you just say, okay, I'm just going to put these pieces out there because I like them. This is all I have. After the show, from those 8 pieces, pull like 3 of your favorite pieces and then take those 3 pieces and then create over time 3 cohesive collections, because now you have more to work with. If you want to participate in another show that may come up, still use those same 8 pieces, but always be creating your cohesive collection in between shows and stuff. So I think that was another part to your question.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm glad you put that in there, is that you need to always be creating. You cannot, show after show after show the same stuff, because a lot of these people, we travel in the same circles, and they're going to be like, exactly. I have seen that at the last 3 shows, like, give me something new. And that's the quickest way to fall off and completely be wiped off of people's radars. So, I like that. So in summary, show what you got, but constantly be working and taking feedback and putting it into play. So that's really good advice. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to wrap up, and I just want you to tell everybody what you're working on now, and just, this is your moment to just talk about whatever you're working on now and anything else you think people should know about event planning.
Yes, so I'm working on my relaunch, I would say, for my swimwear brand, Camille Anthony Swim. It's April the 16th in Birmingham, Alabama. Crystal and we were working on an amazing collection called TKO, Total Knockout. So this collection will be a total knockout.
Oh, yes, y'all.
I'm working on for the Camille Anthony brand. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And kind of scooping back to your last question about using pieces, like using what you have. So even though my show is launching the new collection, the TKO collection, I'm actually going to have 3 miniature scenes of 3 pieces from my old collections, just to let them know, hey, these are on sale. These are available.
They're still relevant.
Free. So it's just adding a little, hey, I still have this. Hey, I still have this, or this is coming up. So one of the first mini collection is a sale collection. The main collection is, of course, TKO, and my mini collection is what's coming.
Okay.
So I'm showing a preview. But for Camille Anthony, I have my relaunch coming up April the 16th. That's going to be amazing. And then for my nonprofit side, we have partnered with Black Women's Mental Health Institute to hold an immersive viewing experience for The Little Mermaid. Called Mermaid Girls Are Magic. So it's going to be at the AMC theaters at Patton Creek. So it's going to be absolutely wonderful. We're going to have some models. Reached out to some models who's going to dress up as Ursula, some of the characters. I'm going to be the Queen of Wakanda. Somebody else is going to come dressed as Princess Tiana. And the concept is we're coming to support Holly Bailey for these young girls. Just all coming out to support Holly's historical casting as the first Black Ariel. So
yes,
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, girl. So y'all gotta stay tuned though to see what me and Crystal start cooking up for this next collection that's coming out. Y'all can find me, even though I'm here in my virtual beach. Y'all can find me at www.camillany-anthony.com. So that's www.camille-anthony.com. And you can find me on Instagram at C Anthony Swim. So it's like we kind of play off of it. It's like who swims? C Anthony Swim. Yes. Weird. But C Anthony Swim back here somewhere with the
on the beach.
At the beach. C Anthony Swim on Instagram and Camille Anthony Swimwear or Camille Anthony Swim on Facebook. So yes, and if you want to come to the show, if you're in here locally, tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. So that's it.
All right, fantastic.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing some of your information with us, some of your expertise. I know a lot of young designers, aspiring designers, brand owners who are looking to, market themselves would definitely benefit from this information. So thank you. Virtual high five.
Reach out to me. Bow.
All right.
Email me. canthonyswim@gmail. If y'all have any other questions.
All right, y'all. Look out for Miss La'Vinnia Holliday of Camille Anthony Swim. If you want to connect with Camille Anthony or shop Camille Anthony, head over to Instagram and follow her at @CAnthonySwim. That's at @CAnthonySwim on Instagram, or go to her website, www.camille-anthony.com. If you want some more information on how to start a clothing line, or you would like to set up your consultation with Black Unicorn Merchandising, head over to www.blackunicornmerch.com, fill out that questionnaire on the Contact Us page, and someone will be in touch with you to get started. See you next week on Fashion Flash and Dash.